What's up, everybody? This is G The Hypersapien, and in this video we're going to take a look at Orks Painboss. So let's take a look at this orc and his little mate. I came to bring the pain hardcore to the brain. Hey, let's bust this open and have a look. Okay, so we have 2 sprues, we have 2 bases, and we have 1 instruction manual. So like always, we'll take a look through the instruction book first. So Orks Painboss. Okay, so step 1, we get piece 1 and 2 and 4 and 6. So piece 1 is the Painboss's front torso. We put that onto the back of the orc, and he has one of his arms attached, and then we put both of his legs on. So we can see the yellow part here is the indication of where to put the glue. So you put the glue where the yellow is, and then you put it on the legs, and you glue all these pieces together. Now the box down here, the legs are indicated in blue, so that means that's the previous step. So it basically has a different angle to show you how the feet go on, but also the blue is to indicate that was the previous step. So if we jump across here, 5, 3 and 7, and we can see the whole of the orc is basically blue, so that's the previous step. Then we put piece 5 on, that goes onto his waist here. We put the rest of his hand on, so you can see that he has more fingers here that go onto his hand and arm here. And then we have another one of these levers that go onto his leg. I said hip before, but it looks like these are pistons that go on his legs, so sorry about that. See here, there's one here and one there, and they go onto the sides of his hips, I guess you could say, the side of his leg, whatever. And then we jump down here, it says variant assembly. So that's what these cogs are. 2A, we jump down here. So we put piece 16 on, which is his head, and then we put this piece on, but we jump across here and it shows how to assemble it. So 12 and 13 is the front of the tool that goes on there. So we have 15 and 14, that goes on the side here. So it's basically parts of this weapon or this tool that he's using. And then once that's all built, you jump over here and then you put it onto his other arm. Now 2B, it does have the cog symbol, but it's in green here. So this is the variant assembly. So instead of having that tool, you can have a different arm. Instead of having the face showing, you can have a different head. So he basically has a helmet here. And then 17 is this claw he has. So you decide what you want to put on, but just keep that in mind. So step 3, 11 and 10 is basically this backpack, if you want to call it that. It's basically all these tools on his back here. So basically you put these 2 pieces together. We jump down here, 8 and 9, so you add even more to it. Looks like a banner pole and bits and pieces. But you put all that together and then you put that onto his back. Now, if you want to do sub-assemblies, I probably would leave this part off. But basically you can test fit, you can put it on and just see what it looks like before glue. You could either put a bit of blue tack on there as well, so you can stick it on. You can move the model around and see if it's easy to paint all the bits and pieces, and you can go from there. You can decide if you want to leave it off, or if it doesn't sort of, you know, get in the way of any bits and pieces. Because it's on the back, it might be fine. Be able to get into all the places on the back because it's on his back and his arms aren't really covering it, or there's nothing else covering it. But you decide how you want to build your model and paint it, and then 40mm base and stick him on, and he's basically done. And we can see here the green tick means the Painboss is complete. So you can see the back is a little bit busy here, so you might want to keep it off just so you can sort of easily get to those places. That's what I was mentioning before about sub-assemblies. And then we jump down to step 4, which is this little Painboss grot, this little medic grot. So basically he's quite simple. Piece 21, 20 and 19. So he has a face, so you put the face on the body obviously, and then he's on this sort of little cool little wheel. Imagine him doing wheelies, he'd probably fall over quite a lot. Who would help him to get back up? Because I don't think the Painboss would. Anyway, he's on a 25mm base, so you can see the base here, and then obviously all the yellow is the places to glue and put him on. The green tick of approval means he's complete, and that's the Painboss and his little grot done. I have rules for the Painboss down here if you want to take a look. Warhammer.com, citadelcolor.com is guides. But now we'll take a look at the sprues. So we'll take a look at one at a time. Okay. So you can see the Painboss here. He has some awesome tools. He has some fur, a little bit pelt around his waist here. He has a bit of a cloth. Now he has a saw and he has pliers and this little hook tool here. Really cool. And then he has some metal strapped around his body here. You know, he's one of those orcs that have obviously gone through a lot of pain himself and just stitches himself up. I wonder who does that. Does another Painboss stitch up the Painboss? Oh, we won't get into that. We can see his other fingers here, the fingers that go onto the hand. Now we can see this nice totem. So we can see this nice boss banner here. We'll flip it over. So he has this little squig, and then you have the pole here. Nice fabric wrapped around it. So here's his claw hand. It sort of should be flat. But yeah, we have a nice claw hand. I'm not sure how I'll build him so far. I like to paint heads, or faces rather, so I probably won't put the helmet head on, but they're good to have in your bits box, you know, the day that I'm ready to use them for something else. We'll have a look at the grot's head here. The grots these days have really pointy noses, like beaks almost, Games Workshop do them as. You know, I don't mind them, but I kind of like a nose that's a little bit more, you know, flabby, a little bit more fat. You know, instead of this like bird beak. Like, it's a nice detail, and they're quite sharp details, the ears and stuff, but yeah, I like them to be a bit more round, and it just seems these details are a little bit more sharp these days. Really nice grot body though. He has this drill piece and this little claw himself, and you can see that he's a little bit damaged. Obviously he has these tools added to him. Poor little grot. Then we have the orc's foot here. Really cool, sort of like dinosaur looking aesthetic. I guess it goes with the beast snaggers. You know, they're sort of primitive sort of vibe. But yeah, sort of like a bird or a dinosaur sort of feet. Then this is the rest of the beast boss. So, you know, there's not much to see here. That's where the front goes on though, and his hand. We'll flip it over. Nice sculpted back, nice muscles. Now, I do really like this helmet. It has that sort of droid look to it. But I really love that face. That face is just fantastic. Really crisp details of the orc's teeth, nose, lips, eyes. I'm going to love painting that. Then he has this cybernetic eye, which is really nice and big as well. That's awesome. Love that face. Now, this is the back piece. Sort of has tanks and looks like some sort of welding tool and another arm that he's just picked up along the way. Some sort of canister here that looks like it releases gas or flame or whatever. You know, he has this other hand here that he's just picked up along the way. Yeah, that was a piece that goes on as well. But yeah, lovely details, really crisp details. This is the other hand that seems to have sort of rotating blades and all sorts on it. That's the grot's wheel. You see he has like a little exhaust wheel, flies along. And we can see the rest of the squeak here, the little feet hanging off. You've got this drip here, then you have this drip here, has a little feet, and obviously you put the rest of the body on. But yeah, fantastic little model. Love that. There it is, boys and grots. Orks Painboss. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you could please like, please subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a video. This was G The Hypersapien, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.